Welcome to the Corn Mafia Guild Twitter space. I'm your host, Stein.
And I'm your co-host, Fryler. Thank you for joining us today. The show will begin momentarily.
This forum does not reflect the official opinion of the Corn Mafia Guild. Rather, it serves as a platform for members and guests to express their individual perspectives and opinions. We hope to create an environment where a variety of topics and conversations can take place, ultimately enriching the experience of our members and guests. We value and respect diverse opinions, and we encourage all to engage in respectful discourse.
Tum-ta-dum-ta-dum. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. How are you today, Fryler?
Doing good, Stein. How are you this morning?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Waiting for a few people to shuffle on in, but I guess we can start. Today's
What's up, kids?
Oh, hello, Scruff.
Good morning.
Today's topic is AAA gaming coming to Web3, and I think we're gonna stretch that a little bit and talk about all blockchain games as well, because we do have 90 minutes to fill up. But I don't know.
Yeah, let's not run into the same corner we ran into last week, huh?
Well, that's because you picked the topic.
Yes.
No, yeah, I don't
picked last week and didn't show up for the space.
Oh,
It's not entirely his fault, but yes, let's all blame Kev because he's not here to defend himself again.
Kev's all
There
right.
you go.
Kev's all right.
Easy target.
So
Absolutely.
I don't know if you guys know about this site. It's called chainplay.gg. And if you guys are at computers, I want you to pull up that link. Chainplay, chainplay.gg. Those are the games that are in Web3 or are going to be in Web3. 2091, to be exact.
For those who didn't pull it up, it breaks down like coin market cap, but for metaverse games. So it's a really neat site.
And Cornucopias is on there, but they're down pretty far. So
I was still pretty impressed. I mean, I know they're 35 on the list right now, but I mean, they're still a baby. But of course, there's like over 80% of the volume on the Ethereum chain. So I think there's a lot of lower quality games that get a lot more volume just because they're on that chain. So I was still impressed that we were ranked pretty well.
yeah, I think so. I think so. I think they're doing that by market cap anyway. So some of those games have already been established. So
Right, already had their day in the sun, and we're still yet to have ours.
yeah, because you still got Axie Infinity on there and stuff like that. So and Elgin Coin. I don't even I think I own one Elgin NFT because it was free for signing up for their Elgin. I don't know what it was. Something, but they got Anchor and Gala Games and all that stuff on there. I don't know. But from what I understand, there are games coming into the metaverse. Sega Games, I believe, is going to be coming into not the metaverse, Web3 space. If I get those mixed up, I apologize. I'm just used to saying metaverse all the time. But from what I understand, they're coming into the Web3 space. Ubisoft, Crysis. There's so many of the big contenders that are going to be coming in because they don't want to miss out on money. And people go where money is, right? And if they can take their games and make more money with them by rehashing old games and skinning them to be into Web3,
Yep. Yeah. It's pretty crazy watching the tides change already. I know we mentioned in a previous space that, or at least it was my opinion, I think other people shared it too, that blockchain gaming is going to be kind of what helps spearhead bringing more just general adoption to the blockchain. You know, I think the gamers are an easy transition. And so we talked about that previously, and we're already seeing just so many things that were already in development, but I see stuff all the time. Like I just saw Dr. Disrespect, you know, a huge Twitch streamer talking about NFTs and gaming and ownership and educating a huge portion of people on it, and totally going against the grain in the traditional gamer space. And I think we're going to see more of those people doing it. And I think that's going to be huge for us as well. So a lot of exciting stuff happening.
I loved that article, by the way. I'm so glad you brought it up. You literally took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, he called people that are against NFTs brain dead.
Yeah, flat out. I mean, he's Dr. Disrespect. He is not going to mince words.
It was great because I've been saying this for over a year now, that once people figure it out, and it always takes people a little bit of time to adopt new things. People are afraid of things they don't understand. And I've been saying for, over a year now, I'm going, once they figure this out, what it actually means, ownership, everybody is going to be doing this. You know, why would you want to throw money down a tube when you don't own anything, when you can be throwing down money down a tube and own it? And it's not down a tube because it's an investment. So I've just been seeing more and more articles of the tides very, very, very slowly turning. And I believe we're in such an exciting time that, yes, all the AAA manufacturers, I've seen Square Enix, the people that did Final Fantasy series, they are big behind the blockchain. They are against the grain compared to a lot of the other developers. Some of the other developers are coming around, but I'm a big fan of the Final Fantasy series. So to see them get behind it, another major studio, and Ubisoft and Blizzard and some others have started talking. They haven't done it yet because they're getting so much pushback from the community. And it's like, it's kind of a chicken and egg thing, right? Which one folds first? Do they come on and build all the games first, or does the community finally come around and ask for the games first? It looks like the studios are coming over and creating that.
Well, I think you probably have a lot of young developers. And I think if they have a lot of young people working for them, and I think a lot of the young people are like, well, you know, a lot of people are doing this now, you know, and going this way, maybe we should have a look into it. You know, I don't think they can put it off for too long because, like you said, if you're going to play a game for years and all you have done is put money into it and you don't get shit back when you're done playing, you know, it's hard. I mean, like I always bring up, because the last game I played was League of Legends, and I had bought and won and earned so many skins, you know, it was quite a large collection. And I stopped playing it, and now it's like, it's a worthless thing. I couldn't sell my skins. I couldn't trade them. I couldn't. You can't buy a skin that was released earlier because there's no way to purchase it. If I want a rare skin, the only way you can get a rare skin is to get it when it was gotten. You know, like if you're in a Web3 game and you've been playing for years, and then somebody has a rare skin but they want to sell it to you, well, then you can make money on your skins by earning your skins, and then selling them later. I mean, that's a good way to make some cash, right? You know, and
I make money on my skin, but that's a totally different website.
Oh God, help me. Oh, that was a good one, Scruff. Yeah. Come on, man, stop that shit. You're going to make me crack up.
And if you guys
here.
aren't subscribed to Scruffy's OnlyFans, I suggest you do it now.
Don't start, Scruffy, man. You're going to make me crack up. Oh, shit.
Sorry.
No, man.
Occupation.
I was just trying to keep myself from LOLing out too much on that one. I had to take a breath and say, oh, God. Yeah, so that's a big important thing, I believe, is, you know, being able to sell your assets, you know, earn assets and then sell them. You know, I mean, we're in cornucopia for A lot of corner.
You can't set me up like that again. Selling your assets.
Selling
Come
your
on.
assets.
Come on. You really expect me to be quiet after that one as well?
This
No,
is
go ahead.
This is a clean space. Very clean space. We're very clean. We're Brillo. We're 7 bald head. Is 7 in here? Oh, I can't pick on him. Oh, never mind. But who do we have up here? We had.
Can I throw something out there?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I've been traveling around to different school districts. I talked to you guys a little bit about the project that I've been firing up, trying to get schools involved with blockchain and things like that. And I've talked to dozens of administrators, teachers, students, and it's going to take an enormous effort. And I think that to get people to look at this as something other than a scam. And I don't think that's going to happen until a lot of the big players come out and start trying to massage people's ideas of what NFTs and blockchain are into a better light. Right now, people I've known for decades, right? I've taken care of their kids. I've volunteered in these schools for about a decade now. And when I mention blockchain or NFT or Web3 or cryptocurrency, their eyes narrow and they take a step back and they say, is this a scam? Right to my face. And it's really interesting. Some people have no idea, but the majority of people are very resistant. And so that's one thing that I think that needs to be taken into consideration is there's needs to be some work done on getting people to realize that there is value here. They think it's all just a big scam where somebody in some little computer in a basement somewhere is just rug pulling everybody. Because FTX, because of what's happened with, back during crypto summer and all that. I don't know. That's been my experience. And I've been out there in the trenches with just hundreds of kids, 7 different school districts, like 40 different schools. And I thought that might be something that needed to be raised. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Hey, Shaft, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Fryler, you can go ahead if you'd like.
Oh, no, go for it.
I was just going to say, Shaft, do you think that these big studios coming on board, that people have played their games for years and years and years, do you think that will add some validity to it once they start releasing some of these big games on the blockchain?
Well, I think that I'll be honest. I think there's been a big movement to depress the idea of this entire industry until the larger players have figured out how to capture and monetize it. I think that, once the big players are ready, once they have a product, they don't have control over anything as far as the blockchain is concerned. It's still kind of Wild West. They don't own the infrastructure or really understand it. I know that a lot of the big studios they have some intelligent people. They're building teams. And I think it'll be maybe a year or two before they are ready and they say, boom, bazaar. Oh, here's a big advertisement campaign. Own a part of, the metaverse. Own a part of your gaming experience. This is your thing. And I think that they're just not ready yet. Just like the government isn't ready yet, right?
Well,
they're still on their heels trying to
Yeah. Well, they're probably, weighing their pros and cons on it. And we also have to think that a lot of these AAA games, when we say Web3, it doesn't mean that their game is going to be run on blockchain. It just means that assets can be purchased and sold probably on the chain or for a cryptocurrency or a coin or their coin or whatever they have and change back into USD. So I think we got to make that clear first, is that it's not going to be totally a decentralized game, because I don't think the infrastructure is out there right now to be able to run it.
No, they can't.
Like
everybody has to have their own blockchain.
right.
Yeah. Each game is going to have layer 2. That's probably, or layer 3, probably the best way to run it anyways.
Yeah. If I could touch on what Shaft said earlier, I totally agree. That is the battle that we're facing, right? And I see that so much in my real life whenever I talk to anybody about crypto or anything like that. I normally don't even get to NFTs before I lose them, you know? So I totally agree with that. But I think kind of like what Scruffy was saying too, that we will see that tide change with big studios and with these big Twitch streamers and things like that. So to answer the question, I'm hoping that one of the things that AAA games bring to Web3 will be a really valid use case that makes people say, oh, wow, you know, that isn't just a scam. And I really loved your guys' website actually too, mav100.org. And I love the way that you guys help showcase cornucopias for its educational purposes too. So for anybody that hasn't checked out that website, it's definitely worth going and checking out. So great work you're doing, by the way. I can't say enough about the work that you're doing, trying to work with these schools and educate the future generations, because it's always an uphill battle when you're trying to change the minds of people that have already existed. And, you know, like you said, there's not a lot of reason for the people that are already in power and having the money to move into this. So I think that educating the future generations is definitely key. So, you know, hats off to you guys.
Yeah, a big part of it. You know, I've had some success with cornucopias because you go out there and you say, hey, look, big companies are going to own this space. You know, Facebook already tried. They kind of got demolished by stepping over a big red line with the Libra currency and Diem. But these students, I mean, these school districts can own their own metaverse for their kids, right? And being able to draw that line and say, okay, now we have control over this. We can say what these kids, you know, have access to, and the kids will have a say as well. So, and another big one is, you know, World Mobile. They're all pretty excited about that, and that just brings access to everybody. But yeah, I think that it just takes work. After a little bit of time, people, their eyes do light up a little bit, you know, but you just have to get out there and talk to them face to face.
Yeah, absolutely. KB, you had your hand up for a while. Thanks for waiting patiently on us.
No, thank you. First up, do you understand me now better than last time?
Much better. You sound great.
Wonderful. Wonderful technology. What I wanted to maybe as a next discussion point say is that I see a big difference between big companies and the games that are currently out and our approach, because I don't understand microtransactions. I don't do that. I won't ever do that. And I think, so this is the first point, I think the popular games now will make their steps once they figure out how to make it seamlessly for their players, for their community, so they don't actually know that they are spending, I don't know, any crypto coins or buying NFTs or whatever. And then maybe this brings them to a more decentralized and more fair way of playing, what Cornucopias is offering, for example, while we who are living in this space already and knowing everything, I don't think we will ever touch those AAA games. So I think this will generate a very, diverse but somewhat different culture of approaching of the games in crypto, I think. I don't know, my 2 cents to that.
Yeah, I think you got a good point there. You know, the thing about cornucopias is it's going to be, yeah, I think it's going to be huge, but it's not the same as, you know, like a AAA game that's well established coming in with IP that they skin to play and earn in Web3 may have advantages, though. I mean, because you already have that IP. You already have people invested. I mean, if you could put, like, Modern Warfare and sell, like, your gold-plated Desert Eagles and things like that, and, because they have a pretty large fan base. Whether they've been doing it for like 19 years or something like that, and they've come out with a game almost every year, or upgrades every year.
I totally agree with you 100%. But excuse me, I also see an opportunity for the people that aren't already established, that don't have all that IP, right now, because the people that have the big IP aren't in it, there's an opening for people creating new IP like Cornucopias. Imagine, you remember when Nintendo first created Mario, and way back when, there's companies out there that are going to be creating, the next Mario, Farmer Joe, and other products. So whereas it's very hard to get a foothold into a new franchise on, console games right now, I think the blockchain aspect of it allows a portal for some of these new games to gain traction before the big players come in. Anyway, again, my 2 cents.
I totally hope that happens too, because one thing you mentioned, Call of Duty coming out with a new game every year, you know what I mean? And so as a gamer who does care about ownership of my assets and things, that gets to be a bit annoying, You grind for a whole year, you finally get everything you want, and then they come out with a new game, and you're like, damn, now I got to start over. Or eventually you can play that game another year, but your lobby's thin out. You're not getting placed into games. The matchmaking starts to suck because everyone's moved on to the new game. So you're stuck in the cycle of buy a new game, and then you got to get the DLC, and you're stuck in this huge money cycle every other year. I hope there's more games like Cornucopias that come out, because I envision that Cornucopias is going to be years and years and years and years and years, especially when you get to the point where it's decentralized and you're not buying a new game every other year. You're just maintaining the same game and continuing to play in a game that can evolve and grow with its players. So I really see blockchain gaming as like the next generation, like a lot of us started back in the day. I mean, a lot of you guys actually probably started playing video games before me, but I started back on the old Nintendos, and to me, a huge revolutionary shift came with online gaming. It totally changed the way that we game, and it changed the way people produce games. And I think that blockchain is going to do that again. So I'd love to see, like Scruffy said, more of these players getting a niche before the big guys get here. Screw them.
Oh, come on. We can't say that now. Screw them. But I think.
Well, you didn't do the disclaimer earlier, so now I can.
Well, I did. The disclaimer was there. You just got in late.
What? No way. I was in a minute early today. Did anybody hear a disclaimer? Yeah. Was mine?
I did not.
You didn't hear the woman? You didn't hear the woman disclaimer? Did you hear?
It was just awkward.
It went out over the air. You may have played it and heard it locally, but I'm not sure you had it switched over.
Well, probably not. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. I can play it. It doesn't matter. I can play it at the end. I think Cornucopias does have a big advantage now, being such a large hashtag metaverse kind of thing in quotations. We can have tons of mini games within the game. So, the longer that they spend building the game, eventually they'll get to the point where all the devs that are there and working on different aspects are going to have design teams that eventually, I believe, will get to the point where they're looking for something to do after a while. Maybe not for a couple of years, but they will be, all right, well, everything's all up and running and things are good. Well, all right, well, let's see if we can, then Rob and Josh or whoever's managing that sector of designers will say, well, can we, what do you think? Can we do something else in the game? And they go, well, we can do this. Oh, let's get that running. Let's have a whole Battlefield style map on this whole sector, or make a whole sector to do something like that. I mean, eventually they're going to run out of things to do. They can't be just designing forever, right? I mean, I guess it could, but eventually it's gonna be all pretty well streamlined, from sector to sector. And once all that's done, they're gonna have a lot of downtime to design things.
Well, what's beautiful about go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say what's beautiful about the game design so far is the way that the influence spheres and the seasons work, and the fact that the players are all in control of all of these custom domes. It's like the landscaping is going to be ever changing, whether the devs are implementing new mini games on the constant or not. But I mean, I imagine you're right. I mean, in the future, it could be that we're the ones who design and vote and implement mini games if it's so chosen. in the way future when we're decentralized and things like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Scruffy, did you want to get in there before we call on We're All Gonna Make It? I definitely want to get him because last time he was up, we ignored him until he put his hand down, and I've never forgotten.
No, I'll hurry. I agree with you. I believe there will get to a point to where we're designing assets, games, all of those things, on down the line. I was just going to real quick touch on the fact that Son was talking a little bit about the development process. And the one thing I would like to point out is, again, that's another place that some of these big, huge studios may have an advantage in being able to expedite it because they have these huge teams already built out. And they've done a lot of the gaming aspect already together. And as you guys know, sometimes it takes a little while for a team to gel and you're bringing in new people and all that stuff. So they may be able to expedite that process because essentially they're just doing what they've always been doing and tying some transactions to the blockchain. So I think Cornucopias has a great head start, but the other people, the big studios can possibly make up ground. And it's going to be an interesting, I don't want to really call it a race because it's not, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'll shut up now and let Wagme.
Yeah, hold on, Wagme. Let me just say one thing, and I'll let you right up. Sorry about that, bud. It just came to into my mind here that I don't see why a game such as, well, I won't say Call of Duty because that's really, really large game. But if you have some smaller indie game houses that may not have the infrastructure to do what they want to do, partner up or lease or do something like that in Cornucopias, be like, well, this is the such and such branded, colossal dome or sector, and you can go in there and play their game over there and still earn money and still earn coin. I don't see why they wouldn't partner up if they could make millions of dollars. That's my thought. If they could partner up with a small indie house or something like that to put their game on the metaverse, on Cornucopias into their own sector, I think that'd be pretty freaking cool. Right? No, go ahead, Wagme.
Hi guys, so I'm going to try and keep this pretty short and sweet because I've got my grandchildren here, so if it gets a little noisy I do apologise. So I've been listening to everything with great interest, and I just want to echo on a few points from life experience as a gamer and an investor. So, when we look at Facebook and how much of the market they've captured on a social level, and now obviously Zuckerberg is going into the metaverse in a massive way, absolutely huge. But he's lost what Cornucopias, in my opinion, has, and other similar metaverses that are building right now. He's lost the trust of the public because, when also my disclaimer here, everything I say is purely for entertainment purposes, is never financial advice and never targeted at companies. But platforms like that, they've lost the trust issue. So as a gamer and an investor, I would never be looking at a metaverse run by Facebook, no matter how polished it is, even if they spent 100, 1,000 times more than Cornucopias. I would never go to it because for me, it's lost the trust. And I'm sure there's many other gamers and investors that feel the same way. Also, when I look at my experiences with Web2 games, where, I've spent a lot of money, as I know many of you have, because we do adore games at the end of the day. We're all kids at heart, right? And we've all spent a lot of money playing these games. And I had a personal experience with Google on the Play Store, where I'd invested a significant amount of money to play one particular type of game that I really enjoyed daily, actually. for almost a year. And then all of a sudden I woke up and I couldn't play the game. And even though I contacted the team, it would take them, a week to reply, and I still couldn't get access. And I went to the Play Store to request a refund, and Google said, well, no. So effectively, all the money that I put into this game, I lost. So I pointed out to that particular team that I'd spent, maybe a couple £100, I'm in the UK, in about 10 months. And if they multiplied by that, by the 10 years I would have been playing, that's how much money they would have made off me. As it is now, I'll look to play elsewhere, because those platforms, once they lose the trust, they lose the players. So my main point, what I'm trying to say is Cornucopias have a huge head start. They're doing everything right. They're involving the community every step of the way. They're finding out what community wants, likes, expects, total honesty and transparency. The building for the game is so impressive. As a gamer, it just blows me away. And I'm just so excited. And I'm a granddad, and I'm so excited to be looking forward to playing the game. So how much more excited are the younger demographic groups looking forward to playing it? So they've got the momentum. For me, anyone who knows me or has looked at my posts will know that my life is really all about belief. And I follow projects and blockchains if I believe in them, and games if I believe in them. And I'm sure other people do what we do, They want to spend their hard-earned money wisely. So yeah, I just think we're in a really good place. Look, we're in a bear market, guys, and all the assets sell out within seconds. Come on. We're in the best place possible. It's going to be building. It's going to be playing. It's going to be education. Education is massive, and I'm so sorry that Catalyst didn't. They did consider the funding request, but didn't go forward with Rob and Josh's proposal. But hopefully they'll recognise the massive contributions that metaverses such as Cornucopias are going to make. Blockchain technology is here. It doesn't matter what occurs in the US. It makes no difference what occurs in China with Bitcoin. Blockchain technology is here to stay at the end of the day, and the gaming is all going to be run through, and it's going to be fluid, and it's going to be on people's PCs, and all the gamers that don't want to buy crypto, they're suddenly going to be finding out that they can play the game and they don't have to do anything else. They own the assets. They don't even need to understand the tech or the terminology. That's how good it's going to be. So that's my 2 penneth, guys. I'll let somebody else take over.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. That was really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you reminded me a lot of what Josh and Rob were saying. I think it was the last Kopi Cafe too, where they talked about how, another game had developed and released, and just it wasn't very fun to the players, and they were trying to rework it on the back end and stuff. So to your main point, Scruffy spoke on some of the advantages that the big boys might have, but I think that you're right in that there are some advantages to what Cornucopias is doing, which is building right alongside the community. They've really got their finger on the pulse, and they're really responsive, and so yeah, they're absolutely doing that right. Kaz, what's up, buddy?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Kaz.
How's it going, man?
Thanks for letting me talk. So what I was going to add to that is when we're talking about this whole sort of onboarding people to Web3, when it comes to NFTs, they don't necessarily just have to be for gamers, right? These NFTs could mean that you're a part of a community that can really do anything within a game like Cornucopias, for example, where maybe you could attend a live event, maybe you could attend a meeting, maybe you could do this or that. Like, it's going to expand so much more beyond just gamers and just video games because again, of the community, and going back to what Wagner was talking about, the trust, right? Because I'm the same way. I'm not touching anything Facebook does. I haven't been on Facebook in years. Couldn't care less what Facebook's working on. I couldn't, so these communities that we're all in right now, that we're building right now in real time, we understand a lot more about Web3 and about what that means. But in the future, if I think if games are maybe look a little bit more like Web 2 for newcomers, they don't really understand that they have a wallet, that they're sort of even acquiring assets or anything, and then they slowly, are understanding that process as they're playing the game. Then I think that's going to help onboard people a lot better, because there's already sort of a stigma behind play to earn and terms like that. So, but I'm excited about NFTs being just more than a skin or a weapon, but being being something that includes you in a community that you really enjoy being part of. You might not even be a gamer or a hardcore gamer, right? You may just enjoy playing video games in your spare time, but at the same time, that this owning something like this that is kind of like a pass to be part of a cool community where you're having a lot of fun and you're doing other things besides just playing a game. I think that's where we're going to see a lot of onboarding taking place. And so yeah, and then going back to this idea of AAA games and these big studios, I mean, I think it's exciting just there even being a hint of Ubisoft or Sega even thinking about this, because they have large departments of people who are dictating their next steps. They're the business minded people, like, where are we going to grow this business? And they're watching very closely, because right now a lot of gamers are sort of anti Web3, again, because of this whole stigma of play to earn. And there's people that say, well, it's a scam and these games aren't any good. But these big these big studios are watching, because they know it's the future, and so they're going to watch what everybody's doing. They're going to let other people make mistakes, and they're going to closely watch. But I think the trick there is just making it seem like you're still playing a video game like you would any other game, but you'll start to understand you own these things now. These are yours. You can do what you want to. You can upgrade them. You can trade them with other players. And again, that just brings that whole community part of it back, right? Imagine if you could work together to build a whole level in a game with your team, right? Or you can trade these assets with that team over there, and you're working together. So anyways, I'll be quiet now so others can talk. Thanks for letting me talk.
All right. Hey, thanks, Kaz. Yeah, I was I think a lot of the problem with the traditional gamers and talking about getting into the Web3, I think they're looking at it as, it's these crypto jerks, these crypto people. They just want to come in and destroy our game, and I think that's a part of just playing a game for so many years that they get really they just, I'm trying to think of the word, but they're very complacent with how things are, and they don't want things to change. I mean, it's like playing any other game when they add new skills and stuff, and you have to learn it. You're like, man, I just got used to all the key patterns and things I had to do for that last character. Now they're changing everything up on my character. So I think people just don't want to try new things because they've been doing it for so long. But I think once they get into it and they find out if these companies do it right, like you're saying, if they do it right and make it seamless, I don't think they're going to have a problem with it. I don't think they're going to have a problem with being like, hey, I played this game I've been playing for years, but I made an extra $100 last month just for running around on a map. I think they'll.
I agree.
I think they'll get into it. You know?
Not only that, people are always resistant to change. Remember, you come out, you got console games, you're used to paying $20 for a Nintendo game. And then a new console comes out and you got to pay more. And then, mobile gaming comes out and you got to do microtransactions. And people were very resistant to that. Now, how many people spend hundreds of dollars a month on Candy Crush or some other, mobile game? They're used to it now. And I think it's the same thing with Web3. They don't understand it at the moment, so they're resistant to it. But as they start to understand it, and again, I think this is one of the things that the big studios are going to bring to the table, is when they start having this integrated into their game, they're going to slowly. It's like the frog in the boiling pot of water, right? It's going to slowly happen over time, and they're not going to realize they're all up in Web3 until it's too late. And then they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, well, this is great. I love this." And so I just think that more people utilizing the technology, more adoption, it's going to take time. It is. And we're all super early adopters. Even if you feel like you're coming into the project late, you're like, man, they started this Discord a year ago and you just got in like 2 weeks ago. You are still so far ahead of the curve. And we're going to have to be patient and it's going to take time. But I think we'll also yield the rewards for doing so.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's really kind of funny, and it may be a little off base, but I just found it really ironic with all of this. So I don't know who all knows the story with Vitalik, but he was huge into World of Warcraft. And I don't know the exact, because I never played, but apparently they took away a spell in the game that he loved. And he famously quoted that he stayed up all night crying because he was so upset about it. And then the next day, he started his new life's journey or whatever, which ended up being, creating Ethereum, which is going to be like, the anti-hero to these older games. So Blizzard, I hope you're paying attention. And for those who didn't catch that really eloquent frog analogy from Scruffy, the frog sits in a boiling pot of water and it uses all of its energy to adjust to its current situation. And by the time the water reaches a boil and it's too hot and the frog can't take it anymore, it's spent all its energy and it can't jump out of the hot water. So beautiful analogy, Scruffy. That was really eloquent. Thank you.
Yeah. I think, we can also put a little conspiracy theory into what Scruffy was saying with these microtransactions. I mean, imagine if these big games already have it in their sites before we did about, let's move it over to Web3. Well, how are we going to get them to adopt it? I don't know. Let's start charging microtransactions during these games. I'll get used to that, and then we can just switch them over to Web3. They'll get used to that.
Well, by
really
the way,
quick.
Nobody says you can't do microtransactions on Web3.
Right.
And I think that will be a thing, absolutely.
Right. And maybe they had it in their ideas to in their mind to do that before Cornucopias even did. Who knows? Before these other games got into it. But
hey, what are microtransactions, by the way? I'm not familiar with that.
They're
just small
transactions,
amounts.
but micro.
Yeah, they're.
I get that, man. But I mean, like, what is that in relation to Web2 games? Like, you mean you're getting charged a whole lot of small amounts of money and it adds up to a lot? Okay.
Yeah.
Think about a 99-cent NFT, but you've got to do it more frequently. You can have a $100 NFT, or you can have a small 99-cent NFT that you need to buy or upgrade or do whatever 100 times.
Have you guys seen the South Park episode that talks about microtransactions?
I have not personally.
So South Park really hits it on the nose with this. There's actually like a sinister aspect to the microtransactions, because it's a free to play game, right? But a lot of these cases, they incentivize you to make microtransactions by making the game more fun, accelerating your pace, giving you bigger and better stuff sooner. And so they release these free to play games, and then most people like KB would never spend any money on a free game, right? They're too logical. Well, there's a lot of people out there, though, that are addicts and that aren't as logical, and they get addicted to those endorphins you get when you get the shinies and the plingies and you get the next thing in the game, And so I'm not going to name names. My brother spent hundreds of dollars a month on Clash of Clans, a free game. and he would just buy coin packs and not even like spend them in like a smart manner. So he was always buying more coin packs. And people do the same thing with like Pokemon Go. You get like, you know, 1 free raid a day. If you want to raid more, it's $1 a raid. What's the issue? And then people spend $5 a day, and that's hundreds of dollars a month raiding in Pokemon Go. So I would like to see us shift away from traditional microtransactions. That's one thing I really liked about the cornucopias model, is it felt like it's rewarding all those same centers of your brain by, you know, mini achievements, mini goals that you set and you achieve each day. But instead of paying a small amount, you might earn a very small amount. So maybe at the end of the month, instead of spending $20 this month, maybe you earned it playing the game. So I would really like to see us move away from those if possible, or at least to a more healthy approach.
Well,
I would go. You go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, some of these places that are going to build, you know, domes and guilds and things like that are going to build domes, and they might have to rely on microtransactions to if they want to monetize their domes, you know.
Right, and I don't mean to say that all microtransactions are bad. I mean, it could just be spending a small amount of money. It was more the way the games gear it is the part that I was taking issue with.
Yeah, they make you addicted, and you know. Yeah, I understand that, you know, most definitely, because I have played Clash of Clans, and I was like, wow, these people really got nice castles. How'd they get there? And well, you can spend $5,000, you can have a castle just like that.
Yeah, instead of working a year, right?
Right, yeah. You know. So, yeah, man, that's the scary part about, you know, about younger people playing games, you know, and how do they pay for it and things like that. But the good thing about Cornucopia is it's free to play, which is really cool too, you know. But if you wanted to be an investor, it's also, this is not financial advice, but I think it's also a good way to invest some capital.
Sheesh, look at Kopi token recently, man. You don't have to give financial advice. Just go look at the chart.
It was funny the other.
Oh God, Ryla, please don't get me started, man. Gosh.
You need to stop. You're already started. You're killing me. I already told you, man.
Well,
I'm at half a mil.
Well, it's funny. I was,
to 1 mil. Can I just add, guys, that, you know, like with the AAA games, you know, coming to Web3, that it is going to run tandem with the big boys, not just the gaming houses, but institutional money. So we know that the likes of Amazon are paying a lot of interest, and the big finance houses starting to pay a lot of interest. So I think the gaming aspect is going to come as a whole facet of institutional money. And the thing is, as well, just touching on the institutional and the retail mindset, because I just sit back and I look at how many people do suffer from FUD. It's like it's like a virus. It's like, and I'm like, wow, there's really no need for it. You know, just enjoy the ride. I love a good bet. It gives me time to consolidate. I think if we do our due diligence, which I believe we've done, then we trust in it. You know, it comes down to that belief again, and it's a slow road. The institutional minds, they laugh at the retail because they know damn well that retail's gonna buy high and sell low, and they push out all this fear into the market because they want your ADA, they want your Kopi, they want X, Y, and Z. So, you know, we've just got to play the long game, play the institutional mindset, and realize that if we're going to be in this space as gamers or investors, you know, we can be in it short term, but why the hell would we not want to be in it long term? For me, it's a life decision. It's a way to pass on something to my generations. I've got my 6-year-old granddaughter with me right now, looking intently at the screen. As she gets older, she's going to be coming in and playing the games. She's going to be kicking it and bossing it. So for us, I think it's just about patience. We've got Cornucopias has got a beautiful growing ecosystem full of brilliant minds, great devs, great team, and a first-class community. Come on, guys, we're in it. You know what I mean? When you look at the likes of the big boys, they've lost that traction. We're just starting, and as Scruffy said, we are so early, unbelievably early. Anyone who says like, wow, look at the price of copium, man, it's going through the roof. It is so early, guys. Not financial advice, obviously, but if you do your due diligence and you look at, the other market caps, cornucopia is going to blow them all away. Doesn't matter. There might be Decentraland, Sand, Axie, cornucopias, guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, most definitely cornucopias all the way. But you had brought up something that I had on my list of talking points was AWS, Amazon services. Amazon owns Twitch, so they're investing heavily into Web3 gaming. This is one of the articles that I had read, and they're going to be a big player because they have that Twitch platform, which is mostly gamers. So, yeah, got to watch out for Jeff Bezos because he is, he's got to buy another rocket. So he's going to need a lot of capital.
Not just that, it would be also interesting how Cornucopia is placed, because as far as I'm aware, a lot of Cardano nodes actually run on Amazon Cloud servers. So they already got everything they need for the infrastructure-wise and everything else.
Well, and KB, also to your point, I believe in the most recent Kopi Cafe, when they were talking about testing, I believe they said that they were hosting on AWS as well.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say, didn't Josh mention either the possibility or that they were? I couldn't quite recall.
Well, if it's good enough for the government.
They either are or are in the process, I believe, if my memory serves.
Well, they are the largest company in the United States, I believe. Right? I mean, that's the government uses that.
They also shut down a whole bunch of data servers not too long ago. I read an article, I don't know, maybe a month ago, about them having to shut down a bunch of their AWS servers. And it was an interesting thing because more and more companies are going back to on-premises servers. Again, I kind of just scanned the article. So, but regardless, wherever it's hosted in the cloud, I'm curious, Stein, on your take on how a company like Amazon, how you see them entering this space. I understand you're right. They do own Twitch. And do you think they'll try to leverage the streamers streaming their game? Or, I mean, like, how does a company like AWS make money? Is it just through more and more companies hosting on their service? Or
they pay for that.
Yeah, I think, AWS makes more money or Amazon makes more money from AWS than they do from their retail, because we all see the trucks and all that stuff, but their servers make more money because our government uses them and they're worldwide. So, yeah, I don't know how they're going to leverage players. They'll probably, if they're intelligent, they'll probably just buy companies. Just buy companies to make games, like Apple does. It's like, I need a new camera. Well, let's buy this company.
Well, Microsoft bought Mojang to get access to the user base of Minecraft. So I totally see Amazon buying a huge user base.
Yeah.
Or player base just to get a game running. So totally plausible.
Yeah.
And Stein, I don't mean to step on your toes, but I know at least some branches of the government use Microsoft Azure. I was part of a company that developed a mobile biometrics app, and we were working with them in a separate Azure space that's only for the government. It's got extra layers of security and things like that. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of big players out there that make a ton of cash doing it. I just wasn't sure if you saw something else. Like I know Amazon has Amazon Games. And to be honest, if you guys have ever checked them out, they'll give out some free games. They've got some games you can download, but they're not really the best of titles. They're kind of secondary. And I was just curious if you saw them trying to bring more titles over to their platform, some more AAA titles that may be implementing that Web3 since there's so much synergy there, or if you were talking about something different.
No, I wasn't talking about anything. I had watched a few YouTube videos and read a couple articles to prepare for this. And what I had saw was Amazon was creating a Web3 game, and then they were talking about they being such a powerhouse due to Twitch and all their billions of dollars that they may just decide to, try to take over as much as they can, at least in crypto-based games. And I shouldn't say just Web3. I don't know if that's, I don't even know if that's correct because it's centralized. But I think you have to have a centralized game. But they're just, I think if they want to get into something, they're going to get into it. But how much money do they want to sink into it, and is unknown, So, and I'm doing my best to find the title that I had saved, but I don't think I saved the right title of the game. But they were working on I think it was some type of dystopian metaverse or something like that game that they were working on. And I can't seem to find it. I think it's called Days Gone. Is that Set to Apocalypse? Yeah, Days Gone. I think that's what it's called. Is that it?
Sorry, I just found an article and I'm reading it right now. It's entitled Amazon Web3 Gaming, Exploring Amazon Crypto Gaming.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they're going to be a big player too, So we all feel pretty comfortable now because Cornucopias is such a beautiful game and we have such a great and wonderful player base and guilds and devs and owners but there's going to be a lot of competition. They say there's going to be thousands of games by 2024-25 that are on Web3. So, it's going to be a lot of competition. But I'm definitely glad I'm with Cornucopias because it's a great game. And I think.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Notabot is typing to me. He's DMing me in the chat, and he wants to bring up the fact that I believe it was Freiler that mentioned Dr. Disrespect earlier. He actually is invested and is developing his own game. I mean, I don't know how involved he is, but he's certainly invested in it. He's involved in the process with some of the developers. I know it's a first-person shooter. I do forget about what the name of that game is, but some of these people are going to have vested interest, some of these streamers. And before, you've got a AAA game studio, they do it all in-house, they market the game, and it is what it is. Now you're having these grassroots campaigns where people are paying streamers to endorse their product. They're getting, percentages based on, talking about it and proliferating it. And so I wonder, it's going to be tough at times to possibly know who's doing it just because they're getting paid and who's doing it because it's a really great game. Now, in his case, I've seen him review the game and I've seen him run around and he talks about it and you can see it for yourself. So I don't think that that's the case. But I do think it's kind of a slippery slope. Obviously, as a streamer, having the revenue stream of being able to promote something that you believe in is great. However, there are going to be people out there that are just going to be hired guns, and they're going to have a huge audience, and somebody's going to say, hey, I'm going to come pay you, X amount of dollars to promote this game, and the game's crappy. They're going to do it anyway just because they're making money. So I was curious, anybody's thoughts on things like that, promoting games with streamers and they're getting investment opportunities in it.
I think it's a good thing. I don't think there's anything called, I don't think it's selling out when streamers do that. I always like to use the word that I've heard, selling up. Casey Neistat said that one time. He's like, I didn't sell out, I just sold up. But I need money to live, So if you need money to live and somebody's offering you money to live, and money to do other things with, obviously, I think it's a good thing you can go that way. But I think there's already a lot of that on YouTube and social media anyways, of people doing that. That's why they had passed those laws about, if you're going to promote this, you have to say that you're promoting it. They came out with that law, last year or the year before or something like that on social medias, because all these famous people were promoting products and nobody knew that they were promoting them. So I don't know.
I would hope that if a streamer was promoting a game that just sucked, that they would hopefully lose validity in the eyes of their viewers. And at that point, because like you guys said earlier, I mean, gamers are kind of discerning and you don't want to lose our trust. So I think, if Dr. Disrespect, use him as an example, went out and was supporting this game and people played it and like, no, this game really sucks, he's probably going to lose a lot of his followers for being fake about it. So it could be a dual-edged sword for them as well.
Well, if you
just a quick update in case you guys want to do any research on that. It's called Dead Drop. Notabot wanted me to tell you. Go ahead, son. Sorry.
Thank you, Notabot.
Thanks. I think that was the game I was actually thinking about there. That was the one I was actually thinking about. But influencers do that, or content creators do that all the time. You'll find shady ones that do those deals, but then people eventually migrate to the people who are trustworthy, and
Whirly.
Well, sorry for my speech impediment.
Just teasing.
Thanks for bringing that up. I that makes me feel good.
You'll get a chance to get me back. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, we talked about your haircut. Let's see. Where was I? So you have, great content creators who will say, stuff like when Linus Tech Tips did his things. I bring him up because he's one of the biggest ones in the community. He will not endorse a product usually, unless he thinks it's a good product, but sometimes it fails for him as well. You can't ever tell with these companies that are trying to promote you. And I guess the only way that you could never be in a position would be to never take any promotional money from any company, because you don't really know what their plans are. But if you have people reviewing your videos, or reviewing your games, say, they gave me the game free to review, and this is what I think. I think those people are still gonna thrive in the content creator space. The ones who may be able to get the game free or something like that, but then say, I reviewed it and it sucked.
I just want to let everyone know that I am available for sponsorships for new projects. No, I'm just kidding. No, I agree.
No bad idea, guys. I'll take anything. Come on.
I agree with you guys. The cream will rise to the top, and the ones that are legit and do their research and endorse good projects, they're the ones that people are going to be coming to and listening to. And so, thanks. I appreciate you guys answering I just wanted to know if there was anybody else that had any other take out there on that.
Yeah, can I just jump in, guys? Because paid promotions for any company really is a massive turn off for me, especially when it's just like plastered in a corner in small wording. I appreciate guys do paid advertising, but the ones that come out and say it straight off the bat, then I can decide whether or not I'm going to listen to them. But I'm always a little bit more cautious because they are obviously being paid. I think the way forward is to have as many people that give organic, free commentary, across the space. I think that's more important. It carries far more integrity and weight and just honesty for people. And that's what we've got, of course. We've got that. But yeah, that's just my take again, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. That's why I love to follow smaller accounts. Like we got a lot in here, like Scruffy and everyone. You get really good quality information from those guys, and it's usually not biased in some way. I'm not against the big players, and in fact, I would love to see Cornucopias get more. Like, we've got Crypto Crow and stuff. I know that he has, interest in the game as well, but
I love to listen to him, actually, Fryler. He's pretty good, even though he is obviously giving a paid commentary. He's very upfront about it, and I take it for what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great to have people like him in this space. And I get so excited like you when I think about what we've got going on and how things are going, especially these Twitch streamers. I think it's going to be absolutely huge. If we had all the top Twitch streamers promoting blockchain gaming, you're going to see a huge shift in the paradigm, I think, because millions and millions and millions of gamers follow and subscribe to their ideas. And if they're on board, yeah, we're all on board. I was with it the whole time. What are you talking about? Deleting posts.
Well, I think what you're going to find is that a lot of the streamers that are not making big money will start switching over to blockchain gaming to supplement their income, and then eventually their craft will get better and better until they move up higher in the ranks and search results and on Twitch and YouTube, and then they'll be like, well, they've been playing block game, then they'll be at the top, and they're playing blockchain games. It may not be such a direct thing as these big time players going right into Web3. It may be the smaller ones adopting it earlier and then moving up the ranks.
Are you looking at my notes, Stein? Because you just read off my 5-year plan.
Well, Ninja's telling me what's going on. No, but I think that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I'd love to see that happen too. But I know those guys already have that Web 2 audience, and it's hard for the blockchain game to catch their attention right now. Right now, they're catching mostly us investors and the people that are
they're going to go
as gamers and investors.
They're going to go where the money is. So if they're making money doing one thing, they're not going to stop. Why would you stop? I wouldn't stop. I mean, if you're making a lot of dough doing something, why would you be like, I don't feel like making any money. Let me go change directions.
So that's my point too, is why would you stop streaming a Web 2 game to stream a Web 3 game when you're going to get less views?
Well,
that's how they make their money.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So they're probably going to keep playing Call of Duty and whatever else gets views.
They may, until they find out, they're going to, they'll pivot when they see these other younger people coming up the ranks and be like, what the hell are they streaming that it's getting so popular? Well, they're streaming this new game, Cornucopias. Well, what's that all about? No, I got the audience. Let me change over to Cornucopias because I already got the audience. So,
yeah, very true.
They're gonna just go where the money is, and that's what they do, because that's what you do. You need money. I need money. We all need money, don't we?
In fact, just all you have to do is look at the Pro Golf Tour. I somewhere in the Middle East, they started a brand new tour, and they literally got just by paying more money, they got half the people on the PGA Tour to go over to this new LIV tour. And I think we're going to see a similar thing in streaming and, gaming and AAA games coming to the blockchain and things like that, because like you said, it's going to take a little bit of time, but more and more the traditional games will either adapt and integrate the blockchain, or they'll die and fall by the wayside. And the new games will be the ones that more people are wanting to watch. That coupled with the fact that, like you said, as you're kind of getting going, you can supplement your income. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to start streaming this. Again, I was in broadcasting a few years back in terrestrial radio for, I don't know, a long time. And I got away from it, and I kind of wanted to do something, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I had been playing a game, and I was tired of throwing money down the hole, but I didn't want to know what I wanted to do. And then I came across cornucopias, and I'm like, oh my God, I can marry these two together. And while I'm building up my channel, I can be earning things on the blockchain. And I get it. It's probably not going to be life-changing money, at least not at first. But, holding on to that and growing it while I'm growing my audience. And I think a lot of people out there will do that. They'll do it with various games, with various projects. Everybody's got their favorite. But some of those names are going to start rising up the ranks on YouTube, on Twitch, on things like that. And the community is really the best thing, because Freiler said this again. I can't remember where or when you said it, but you were talking about your videos. I think it was when I think it was the 300 subscriber video. And you were talking about the difference of when you make a video on anything else, subject matter, and cornucopias, and that how many more viewers you get when it's a cornucopias related video. And same here, my channel wouldn't have grown nearly as fast if this community wasn't so tightly knit. And I think that's going to happen with other projects as well, because let's face it, we're all very loyal to the things we like. And, some other people may like different types of games, shooters or this or that or whatever. But when you bring that whole community with you, you've got kind of a built-in audience that's going to help you grow, and you grow as the game grows. Let's face it, in a year or two or whatever down the road, when we have a million people playing the game, imagine how many viewers and subscribers people like myself and Freiler and, Seven is in the chat. Welcome, Seven. Glad you're here, brother. We missed you earlier. But, all of us are going to grow with the game inherently. And I think that's going to be a big draw for streamers to start streaming Web3.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. It's going to be a big deal. For sure. I mean, if you get 1 million people and you were there when it was less than 100,000 or less than 50,000 probably at the time,
Well, and I think Scruffy speaks to, one, we have an amazing community. So hats off to all you guys, and a big round of applause for always supporting everyone and for sharing our videos and making it worthwhile. We're all broke as heck, I think, making these videos and putting money out and not making any back. So the support is amazing, and it's always appreciated. But I think it speaks to the hunger or the appetite that the general public has right now is why these videos do so well. Like Scruffy said, I can make a video on any given topic. I could make a tutorial that I feel like the community really needs right now. I could make a news topic video. I could just cover, top projects. But the ones that get the most views are about cornucopias and I think gaming in the metaverse right now. And I think people are just hugely interested in that. So, yeah, you kind of got to reevaluate what's working sometimes and double down on that.
Yeah. Well, I think, you got the horse in front of the cart and the cart in front of the horse kind of thing. It's like chicken and the egg. It's like, well, I'm going to report on something that's going to make me money and because I have a built-in viewer base. But then it's going to turn eventually. Then you're going to get so popular, you're going to start bringing people to it. Instead of go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I keep thinking you're done. Continue.
No, right now, the people that are watching, because we do a lot of tweets and stuff in the guilds and things like that. So you get a lot of people watching from within. And I think that's an important thing. But once you get bigger and the algorithms see you, then you're going to start bringing people to the game. And I think I just said that twice anyways, but go ahead, Scruff.
No, I was just going to say,
I got sidetracked there and lost my train of thought.
Oh, don't worry. We're miles away from AAA games coming to Web3. We're all up in streaming and all kinds of craziness right now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're having fun with it. No, I was just going to say that when I try to decide a topic, honestly, I figure out what's interesting to me right now. If I find it interesting, if I find a topic or some information that I was interested in learning, I figure a lot of other people will be interested in that as well. I try not to look at the numbers and things like that. Yes, I'm aware of it. You know, obviously, when I'm making thumbnails and things like that, I go, okay, what's going to grab people's attention? But as far as the content, you know, I have noticed the same thing. But if there's some new announcement in the game or some new way of looking at something, again, it's really hard right now because we aren't able to play the game, and that's coming. We all know that. I just can't wait until we're actually able to play the game, stream the game, and help educate the community on ways of doing things. People that are just coming in and trying to figure things out. And we're like, you know, making tutorial videos. Oh, here's how you can do this. Oh, here's an extra added little feature. Here's a bonus. Here's how you can do all your daily in under 30 minutes or whatever it is. Yeah. So I'm super, super excited about that.
Well, you know, I've told a few of my content creators, friends of mine, that even if you have a small viewer base or a small fan base right now, and everybody wants to get big and make the big dollars and buy Lambos and all that stuff, it's you have to look at it like, well, you have a small fan base, so you should make your content for them because they're the ones who love you the most. That's why they're your fans. And then the people want to tag on, and you'll get more and more of those people. You know, that's how you start, man. You know. So I don't know where that was going either. But
absolutely. Hey, I wanted to highlight something Scruffy said too. It was an epiphany that I had last week, and then he just said it again. So it was something that I felt was really relevant. But market to yourself, right? And that's kind of it's so odd because sometimes I feel like I've just put out a video that was like, you know, I came up with the concept this morning. I didn't script it. I kind of just did it on the fly. And then all of a sudden I got more comments and more likes and more views on it because maybe people connected with it more. I don't know. I'm still kind of like working it out myself. But for those of you out there, and we got a few other creators in the room right now. Yeah, I thought that was great advice. Just market to yourself, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, there's an old saying, and I don't know if I'm going to get the quote right. And it was from Miles Davis. He says, you won't play like yourself until you've played like everybody else. So, you know, you try to copy everybody, but eventually you're going to find your own voice, your own tune, you know.
Yeah, the way I figure it is, if I think it's interesting, there's probably a lot other people out there that are going to think that it's interesting.
Yep. Well, you know, that's the great thing about the World Wide Web. You know, you could put out stuff on, you know, the date of a penny and how this date of a penny is different from this date of a penny. And you're still going to get views. You know, it doesn't really matter what you do, just as long as you're passionate about what you do. You know, you'll find those people, and I think that's what's great about this, and I think that's what's good about Cornucopias. It may not be for everybody right now, but people will find it. People find it.
That's how the Mafia found each other, right?
That's right. That's right. What's going on with Matt? Does Matt want to talk, or is he just in the speaking?
Hey,
how's it going?
How's it going, Matt?
I was waiting for a good time to chime in. I missed most of the space. Unfortunately, I've been in a meeting, but
well, you couldn't tell him that you were in the Corn Mafia Twitter space. And Jesus.
Yeah, right. I know. So one thing that I think on quite a bit is how these larger traditional games, if they do come into Web3, how they're going to adapt their strategy with testing. and releasing information, etc. So like us, we're releasing modules, as you guys know, and heavily relying on feedback. Star Atlas is doing the same thing. They've got a few demos open that I've actually tested quite a bit. And, the traditional gaming space, they hold back, they don't release a lot, and then they just launch it with no feedback. And one of the things that really stood out to me with this latest, Warzone release, which I play a lot of Warzone, was that it was insanely broken. It was a horrible experience. And being a lover of playing Warzone for the past, 3 years on the older one, I didn't even want to play anymore. Like, it was so bad. Like, I imagine that scenario with community feedback along the way, they could have had a much better gaming experience. So I'm just, curious how all that will change in the future. And Dr. Disrespect is doing this with his Dead Drop game. Like, I'm an owner of that NFT as well, and I have access to go in and test.
I think what they're going to do is throw piles and piles of cash at devs that have worked for other companies. And then they're going to get those people over there and start testing and doing
that
it.
might exasperate. Oh, sorry, go for it.
And that's how large companies do that. They're going to be like, well, Cornucopias is doing damn good. Well, how much will it cost to move some of those guys over here? I don't know. Well, throw some money at them. How much we got?
Yeah,
Oh,
but that won't have anything to do with testing, though.
Well,
yeah.
Well,
I think that might
but they
exasperate
might
the
not know
problem
the
Matt's
infrastructure on what to do. Yeah. If they figure that out, that they need to do that, then they're gonna, throw money at it. But if they
to
don't
highlight
learn,
Matt's point though is they're completely ignoring the community aspect, and the company that does Call of Duty, Treyarch, they're famous for that. By the way, I want to quickly throw out, I miss Alcatraz. Bring it back, Treyarch, if you hear this. Come on. But in any case, they completely ignore their fan base. They did the same thing with Zombies from the previous titles. I don't know if anybody here played those or enjoyed those, but the fans were telling them they wanted certain maps remade, and they kept remaking other maps and putting other maps out and putting a lot of money into the game and doing things that they thought would improve it. But it made it worse and worse with every iteration, and they completely destroyed the franchise.
I agree. And to answer Matt's question, again, this is just my opinion, but I think they absolutely should take this opportunity to ping their community. That's what Web3 is so great about. And do I think they will? No, I don't. I think kind of like Stein said, they're just going to keep paying internal developers to do it until they think it's good and not get the community feedback. They've proven that. But I think this is an opportunity for them. Earlier, you guys touched on the 1-year releases. I think as they come over to Web3, we're going to see that fade away, and they're going to be more like 10, 15, 20-year releases that get constant updates. And I think that's a huge opportunity that Cornucopias is smart enough to realize, hey, let's do this. Let's release a little bit of it. Let's get feedback from the community, make sure they like it, and then move on to the next thing. But do I think big game studios will do that? Absolutely not. I wish they would.
I think Cornucopia.
Yeah, it's too risky for their VC investors.
Yeah. No, I think Cornucopia has it right because they can pivot really quickly. It's like, well, they didn't really like that. Well, all right, well, let's do this. But you can't do that if you have developed the whole damn game ahead of time and then thrown it out there to the public. If you're building it piece by piece, I think that's the way gaming is going to have to move. Just from that aspect. That's why I really like Cornucopias, because if they build something and the community doesn't like it, they're gonna know. But they haven't built the whole game and spent billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars doing it. They can move and switch to something else.
Can pivot, and they have.
Yeah. Yeah, they have.
Well, the problem is developers sometimes are too close to it, right? They spend all this time working on it, and they view it from a different perspective. They think they know what the community wants instead of just asking the community. And the community, they're they haven't seen it, and all of a sudden they get it, and it's either like, oh, this is great, or oh my God, this is terrible. Like Matt talked about the Warzone coming out, and had they just done a beta, a beta test out to part of the people, and then gotten feedback, and then everybody could tell them what crap it was before they released it. But
yeah, I actually wrote a tweet on this, a thread last month about how it's exactly that. You're so close to your product that you start having assumptions on what the user will experience when it's not really the case, which is precisely why we go to community for feedback, to mitigate those assumptions and make them an actual reality. So I'm trying to pull up that tweet actually.
You finding it, Matt? we got about 4 minutes left on our Twitter.
No, you guys go for it. I was just.
Well, if you have anything to say, go ahead and finish up, and you can be the last speaker of the day.
No, I'm good.
Well, we thank you for chiming in.
I always have to have the last word with my big mouth.
Well, that's true. That's true.
We need to give you someone to interrupt, though.
I was trying to get Matt in there to finish up today, but no, that's fine, Scruff. You can. We got a few minutes.
Well, that's why I wasn't talking, because there was nobody to interrupt.
Oh, nice. Well, like if everybody wants to look at that website that I put up earlier, it's called chainplay.gg. I have no affiliation with it. I just saw it on a YouTube channel last night, and so I thought it was a very interesting website that's all gaming. It's like CoinMarketCap. So, but it's just for gaming.
Yeah. By the way, just to his point, this is a great website. I found this, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, because I was researching different types of games. So I know a lot of people out there get pigeonholed into one type of game, and other people like to play all kinds of different types of games. And that's what I love, by the way, about Cornucopias is it sounds like there's going to be tons of variety. But if you like to play other games and you want to find out, what's the best shooter, what's the best, what are some of the play to earn shooters or strategies or other RPG games or things like that, you can sort by genre. And that's one of my favorite features on there is you can see, okay, what are the top 5 or 10 projects by genre? So in case you're looking for stuff, it is a very good resource. Thanks, Stein, for bringing that up today.
Yeah, thanks, Scruff, for the... Oh, by the way, I just want to congratulate Scruffy again. Scruffy is now godparent of the Corn Mafia Guild. So
huge congratulations, Scruffy.
If nobody saw the tweet that I put out for Corn Mafia last night... here he is. Say congratulations.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, the community outpouring of support has been tremendous. I'm beyond humbled. It's I don't know. Just thank you from bottom of my heart, and I will do my best to serve in the capacity to help propel this guild to new heights. And as I said in my tweet, super exciting things coming.
Thanks, Scruff. Well, Fryler.
We have that on recording, right?
Yeah. well, Fryler, we have 27 seconds left before I play the outro.
Alrighty.
So you have to say goodbye this time because I will say goodbye now.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming, everybody. We appreciate seeing all your beautiful faces here, taking the time out of your day to come every week. It is much appreciated. So definitely looking forward to the release of Racing coming up soon. Can't wait to see you guys streaming. Hopefully I'll be streaming with you. And yeah, thank you. We'll catch you next week.
Now listen to Seven's smooth voice.
Ooh,
this
so
has been
seductive.
A Corn Mafia Guild Twitter space with your hosts, Stein and Fryler. Please join us every Wednesday at the same time, 5 p.m. UTC. We would like to thank all of our guests for their insights and input on today's topics. We also would like to thank all of you, our listeners, for taking time out from your busy day to join us. A full audio version of this conversation will be provided on our YouTube channel. You can find out more about the Corn Mafia Guild at our website, cornmafiaguild.io. So, until next week, thank you again, and have a great day.